Do you remember the first time that you put a loaded firearm into your holster? That's the way that you should feel every time you holster your weapon. Today we're going to be talking about safety when it comes to concealed carry. All right, you should have a basic understanding of the three main rules of gun safety, those being keeping your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot, treating every firearm as if it's loaded, and keeping the muzzle pointed in a safe direction at all times. And those basics are going to come up again while I'm talking about concealed carry. All right, so this is one of the most popular forms of concealed carry, an IWB holster. And this holster is going to go over your back pocket, somewhere between there and at 90 degrees on your hip. Okay, so I've got the 4.0 on me right now. The first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that your gun is completely unloaded. Check in there. And you're going to want to train with all the kind of shirts that you're going to be wearing in your wardrobe with your holster. So right now I have a t-shirt on. This one's a little bit tight. Practice with the looser fitting clothes and the ones with buttons so that you can make sure that you clear the firearm when you go to holster. So when you go to put the holster in, you got to make sure that you release it all the way because you do not want to get any shirt material inside of the holster. And then when you go to take the gun out of the holster, you got to make sure that you pull up your shirt past the gun. So it's best to practice to try to just really pull it up really high like that. And then you've got your gun and you're ready to shoot. Okay, so you're going to hear me talk about the safety rules as we talk about this. You're going to want to make sure that you're not pointing that muzzle at anything that you're not willing to destroy. So that goes for your butt cheek, your foot, and yourself in any way. So with this holster, when you go to holster it, you do not want it to be pointed at you like that. This is pointed at my foot. You want it to be down or away. So pull up your shirt with a good amount and make sure that you look the gun into the holster, and at no point should you be pointing it at yourself. So go ahead and find the holster, look it in, and then you're good. It definitely helps when you have a good gun belt too and that it's cinched down properly. And then cover it up and you're nice and safe. So it's good to practice this your first time without ammo in it because you never know if you're going to be going and catching your shirt material in there, and that's not good. So holster nice and safe. Look it in. Don't point it at yourself. And you're safe. All right, now I've got the Alien Gear shoulder holster on. And we're going to go over the same things. Make sure that your gun is unloaded. And this one's a little bit trickier because you're holstering into this little hole and there's all this body around you. You do not want to flag anyone else or yourself when you're going to holster. So you're going to keep that muzzle pointed in a safe direction. You can lift your arm, and there's no reason to hurry this through because you're just holstering your firearm. At this point, there should not be a threat. So you can lift your arm, and you can point the gun down and around, not at your foot. Find that hole and go in there. Now, when you're going to go draw, it's best to practice this without a jacket the first time, is you're going to take that gun, and what you don't want to do is pass it by your arm like that. What you want to do is unholster, point it at the ground, come around, and get on target. So I'm going to do that a little bit faster for you. There you have it. So alternatively, you could lift your arm up so that you're not going to flag your arm, but you don't want to be making yourself into a bigger target. So I prefer to take the gun out, point it down, and then go for your draw. You see how I'm lifting up my arm there, so I'm making sure that I'm never pointing that gun at myself. Because in an actual situation, you're going to have that gun loaded, and you do not want to be pointing a loaded gun at anything you're not willing to destroy. Now I'm going to do it with the jacket on so you can see how I release the material. It's great when you have a jacket that has buttons that come off easy. So if you want to button up like this, then if you need to access that firearm, you can just quickly release it. And same thing, point it down, and go for your shot. All right, and the last holster that I'm going to demo today is the Shapeshift Appendix Holster. Now, this one is a little bit more controversial for some because of where it's at, but there's no reason to not wear an appendix holster if you're being safe and following these basic safety rules. Big ones being keeping your finger off the trigger at all times until you're ready to shoot, because you do not want to accidentally pull it if you trip or something, and keeping that muzzle pointed in a safe direction at all times. So I've got the Shapeshift holster on here. Make sure that you release your shirt enough to get access to it. And when you go to holster, make sure that you're pointing that gun not at yourself or at your foot or at your artery, a little bit away, and watch it into the holster. And it's nice and safe that way. A couple other tips: make sure that your retention is properly adjusted. And I'm aware that a lot of ranges don't actually allow you to draw from a holster at the range. And a way to get around that is to practice at home in a room. Make sure that your ammo is in a different room entirely, and then you can practice as much as you want. And if you want more tips on dry firing, we've got a video for that. Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure that you're staying safe out there. Do your practice, draw at home, do the dry fire, do everything you need to do to make sure that you are always pointing that gun in a safe direction at all times, especially when you're holstering and unholstering. If you like this video, hit that like button, please. It helps us out a lot. Thanks for choosing Alien Gear Holsters.